Hello my gorgeous loves out there and welcome. In today's video I'm going to talk about some palettes that are perfect for the fall season. I just went through my collection. These are all things that I have already used and tried and know that their color story is as perfect for the season that we are in. But before we get into this video, if you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Bree. I'm a crazy lover of all things beauty. I like to post a lot of fun, colorful makeup content, and I like to do a lot on indie makeup. So if that is what you're into, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. But with that being said, let's get into this video. So I'm going to make this intro short because I actually have 20 palettes here. I think I had a lot less last year in my favorite fall palette video, but I've been trying a lot of palettes and these color stories are just perfect. I'm going to go over all of them. None of them are going to be like in a ranking or anything. I'm just going to pull at random and talk about why I think they're perfect for this season, which is one of my favorite seasons. I just love me some fall. I also love me some summer as well, which I don't know. I think most people who love fall usually don't love summer, but I love actually all the seasons, to be honest. But I am going to go over all of them, and one of the palettes is the one that I am wearing on my eyes, which we might as well get into that one first. So I have the Harvest of Souls palette on my eyes. This one is from Fantasy Cosmetica. I was putting this look together for a review. I'm not sure if the video will be up before this one, but if it is, I'll link it below. I'll put it in the corner if you want to see how I put this look together. But I had to mention it in this video because it's a harvest color story, which is perfect for the fall season. I also feel like this is a good transitional palette to the winter time with these cooler tones in here. But I love it, and so far the quality has been really nice, matte, beautiful, and all these intense shimmers, holochromes, flaky shades. It's just gonna get you through this beautiful time of the year that we were in, so I had to mention it. Now we're going to move on to this one from Give Me Glow. This is the Mystical Garden palette. Now it gives me, I feel like fairy spring kind of packaging with the butterflies and everything, but inside, to me, this is screaming fall, autumn, whatever you call it. It does have the addition of the blues. It has some nudie tones, a little bit of grunge, the pink shades. And I just think you could create something beautiful. And I love the pops of blue that make it a little bit more interesting and not like a total typical fall color story, which usually has warm grunges, berries. But this one has some fun blues in it as well. And I thought the quality was great. It is a darker palette. It's great for, people who don't really necessarily need super light shimmers or mattes. And now, of course, you can always pull in other palettes. But just so you know, this overall is mid-tone and I love it. It's really pretty. I love Give Me Glow. And I'm so happy that they went to smaller pans in their palette. Now going on to, I have, I think, just two from Unearthed, which is surprising. But I have the Fall Magic palette. This was a revamped version of their original Fall Magic palette, which I have and have mentioned in fall favorite palette videos before. But they went a different direction. They went a little bit more grunge with this one. The other one was more muted, dusty shades. And it's beautiful. It's vibrant. It's saturated. You can go on the deeper end if you're into vampy kind of autumn looks. You like to get smoky like I do, then this is the good one. You do have lightning shades, beautiful mattes, beautiful color story, pretty much everything you need to create a perfect seasonal look. Then going on to the other one from Unearthed, the Sorceress Smoke palette. This one is the more dusty sister to the Fall Magic palette, but still has some murky tones in here. But they're definitely more on the muted end. There are some cool tones in here. I think this would also transition really well into the winter season with these cooler colors, the grayish tones, the cool greens. But it also has nudie shades, so you can kind of tone down the look, or you can add a little bit of muted colors. It also has inner corner highlights, some smokiness. It's a really beautiful one. So if you like your more muted fall tones, and this is a great option. And of course, we're gonna go now to Lunar Beauty, the Moonshroom palette. Like, I mean, this was made for this season. It's giving like psychedelic vibes, you know, Woodstock, where people were getting real experimental with drugs. But look at these tones, very murky, dirty, grungy. I love it. And then this little pop of purple just gets me every time looking at it. I love that they put that in there. And I also do associate purple tones with the fall. I mean, like when you see fall leaves, some of them are purple leaves. So I love that as well. And then all these grungy yellows. It's delicious in the most grungy way possible. And I really love Lunar Beauty. I swear they have some of the prettiest packaging and like color concepts. Then we're going on to Lethal Cosmetics. This is a smoky dream right here. If you're looking for a little vampiness, this is where it's at. If you want a vampy berry look, you can do it with this palette. But it also has some like kind of dusty greens in here, a little pop of a very deep blue. You have some lighter pink tones as well, and the metallics in here are really sparkly and shifty. The greens are really beautiful. You have a deepening shade. You're gonna love it for vampy berry looks. Like, this would be perfect with the top I have on right now. And the quality, excellent. Buttery mattes, gorgeous. I just love Lethal Cosmetics a lot. I mean, I love all these brands. That's why they're in my collection, these palettes. Then I have the Adept Cosmetics Flying Fiddles palette. And this is for my nudie girls who want just a little bit of green moments with their looks. A little bit of pink too added in. But overall, this is a nudie palette with some few pops of more toned down color. And this will get you going for like date night, glam night. If you're just that glam kind of girl during the fall, like you just go extra glam, because I just feel for some reason during this time and in winter, I go more full coverage. I go more bold and intense than I do in the spring and the summer. You have cool and warm tones in here. And it's an excellent formula in here. I love Adept Cosmetics a lot. And I was surprised that I like this so much because I am really into color, but something about that makes me feel so pretty. Like when I have those shades on, I just feel like sexy glam. Then going on to another one from Adept Cosmetics. This is the Sumerian Sunset. This is so fall, like with quintessential fall in this palette with the orange, reddish tones, the berries, the greens, the sparkle, the warmth. It is giving sunset, but fall sunset. Not summer sunset, fall sunset. I mean, it could give summer, but I just think of autumn time when I see this. And it makes me happy because this is the colors that you're going to see in the trees changing around you. The clothes that we're wearing, the decor, the decorations. I have so much fall decorations in my house. I'm not so much of a Halloween decor person, but fall, pumpkins, squashes, the autumn leaves just make me so happy. And like the whole house smelling like cinnamon and baked goods. That's my life right now. Then going on to Nomad Cosmetics. This was their fall palette for the year. This is the Fuji 5's Lake palette inspired by Japan. And I love this. The most beautiful, stunning artwork that I've ever seen on a palette. It's actually like a canvas painting kind of style. I've never seen this on a palette before, so it blows my mind. This one too has the pops of blue in it. Well, it has a good amount of blues. Then it has the red tones, and it has the like yellowy tones. And I thought this was a pretty and different take on a fall palette. And I love that it's inspired by Japan because that is where I am planning to go next year. So I'm definitely going to bring this palette with me and just match up all like the names with the scenery and see everything. And I get like why they also do the blues, because you know, like the snowy mountaintops, and then on the bottom you got like the trees turning all fall. I'm sure it's such a beautiful scene to be able to be at the base of the mountain and see the contrast of a wintry mountaintop and fall foliage where you're standing. One day I will be there and I will get to experience it in person. And then we're going on to Natasha Denona, is it Yucca or Yucca? I think it might be Yucca is the pronunciation for this one. I thought it was Yucca, but It's a dirty, grungy little palette. One of my favorites from Natasha Denona. I picked this up a little later. I haven't had it very long. I'm not sure why I didn't pick it up on initial launch. I guess because I know I have a lot of this already in my collection. But obviously I couldn't stay away because I love these murky tones. Now this is grunge, but leaning grungy nudes, not grungy intense, not grungy super smoky, if that makes any sense. There is some like deeper teal shades in here. This is also for all of y'all that like grunge, but on the tone down side. You like the dirty shades, but you don't want them to be like over the top intense. This is a good one. It has the cream. It has like beautiful matte, creamy goodness, and nice shimmers. They're not going to blow your socks off with the sparkle or anything. But overall, it's a good, trusted formula. And I love Natasha Denona. And I really did enjoy this. I want to see more grunge from the brand. Like a more deeper grunge palette would be really nice. And then, of course, Ensley Reign, the Harvest Moon palette. It's a harvest palette. Of course, it's going to fit the season we're in, but this is what I mean with darker, more vampy, smoky, grungy autumn tones. And then it has like these super vivid, bright orange pops. We have fun green pops. We have the smoky metallic shades in here, the purples, the muted grayish purples, the brown, so you can go more nudie. You can get like smoky glam. You can get just smoky color overall from this. This is probably one of the most fall-y palettes in my collection. Like, look at the packaging. The little baddie, the little mushrooms. I'm loving the vibes. It makes me want to go and like frolic in the forest and be a fall fairy when I look at this palette. Then going on to another one from Ensley Reign. This is the Cosmic Dreamer palette. Now, my last fall palette video, I put the original Cosmic Dreamer palette, but they revamped it. They switched it up and made a 2.0 version, and I love it. It is so good. This one, too, I think could transition you to the winter time as well with these, like, beautiful, cool tones in here. But look at these tones right here. Dingy little tones that are just delicious. Then we have some pinks. We have some orangey ones. We got some browns, the fun pops of blue. So this is the very versatile one. You can do a lot with this palette. And there's tons of stunning formulas in here, like all different types of metallics. I believe that this one might have some polychromes, maybe in this one. But there's like some flaky, intense ones, shifty ones, darker, more smoky, like black based metallics as well in here. Then you got some iridescence, and then beautiful mattes to pair with all these beautiful metallics. So this one too has a really great color story for the harvest season. Then of course I had to mention the Stone and Rock palette from Uden's Eye. This one is like cool tone grunge. I mean, there's some warm tones in here, but I feel like the greens lean more cool besides the few warm ones like right here, but everything else has like a grayish undertone. So if you prefer more cooler greens, more smoky gray greens, you'll really love this. But then you have the added warmth, this beautiful intense shifty iridescent that goes to green. And this is also for my green lovers. I mean, it's predominantly green with a few browns, and I love it. It's beautiful, and I like this take on a more cooler tone fall kind of palette. Then we're going to Glaminatrix Barely Basic palette, which I have done videos, I think, on most of these, and I think they're already up on my channel, besides the one that I have on, the look that I have on today. But this is more warm, but this is also very, very fall, very, very autumn. And it has like the dingy greens, the warm orangey browns. It has some cooler browns than these like plummy shades. It's beautiful. And I love the setup of the monochromatic rose. This is great if you don't want to think a lot on how to put a look together. They just kind of spelled it out for you with these rows. So if you just want to do a green look, you can. The plums, the orangey tones, you can go more cool tone nude. And then you have these beautiful metallic sparkly shades, these beautiful shifty iridescent shades that also work great as like very shifty highlighters on the cheeks. And I love the balance between the warm tones and the cool tones in here. Now going on to Cosmic Beauty, which I have two of them. I have the Neutrals palette. It's beautiful. It has a mix of nudes and grunge, so it's easy to like go different directions. You don't have to go extreme. And then the color that is in here are more dusty muted shades. So this is definitely keeping the nudie lover in mind with this kind of color story, but still giving you a little bit of those murky tones thrown in, a little bit of plum. And you can go warm, cool tone, or quite neutral with the shades in here. Like these shades to me are like neutral. They're not leaning too cool, they're not leaning too warm, which is hard to find in a palette these days. You're either on one side or the other. Excellent quality, good variation. It's stunning. And then I have the Undergrowth palette. And in the beginning I lied and said I've used all of these. This is the only one I haven't actually used on my eyes. I have done swatches for it. I have done like a whole comparison video and a haul, and I'm not sure if that video will be up before this one. So I have played with it. I have touched it and it feels consistent to the other Cosmic Beauty palette. So I figured I would just mention it because I had to. Look at this. Green, murky tones. You're in a forest here. It's giving fall. It's giving that time of the year. And I love just all these dingy shades. It makes me so happy. And there's, I think, holochromes in here. Shifty shades. Pastel moments. And you can go more warm. You can tone it down and go nudie. You don't have to go extreme green. But I love greens. And I love that there's a variation of green tones in here. You know, not just cool tones, not just forest green tones. There's also the yellowy ones, the neon-y-esque greens. It's wonderful. And then you got some minty ones too in here. So I cannot wait to actually play with this on my eyes because it's swatched beautifully. So we have the Gourmande Girls Secret Grove palette. This one's a matte heavy palette. So great for my matte lovers since there's only really two metallics in here. But I thought the greens were gorgeous. You have these more yellowy tones of really bright red. You have some pinkish tones. And then you have a brown in case you don't want to go full on color. But overall, I thought this was a really nice one. It's perfect for the fall season. The only shade I think you have to work with a little bit more is Kinoko, but I've mentioned that in a review. You just have to use that shade first if you want it to not be patchy. But besides that, everything else is beautiful. This metallic bewitching shifts from like purple to green, taupey undertones. It's really beautiful. And then you have this beautiful pink little iridescent shade for brightening in the inner corner. They all go really well together. And this also, I mean, look at the mushrooms. It's giving fall. Then we're going on to, I guess, the last three. So the Twisted Teaparty palette, of course. This is also perfect for the winter season. This is from Ensley Reign. But you have like these grungy tones. You got the berries up here. Some pops of blue, and then these just beautiful shifty metallics, the like tealy shades. It's just overall really gorgeous. It's amazing formula in here. You can also go smoky with this one, and the shifts on these metallics are beautiful. And I think of fall and winter when I see this. So it's a winter fall palette. And then we're going on to another biggish kind of palette, the Resurrection palette from Wicked Widow Beauty. My favorite rainbow palette in my collection. I've said that many times over. So to me, it's like half fall and half winter tones. So you have these grayish tones, the lavenders, and then you go over here and you have the grunge, the warmth. You have the blues in the middle. You got your greens, your oranges. It just overall, it's fun and colorful, but it has like different kind of undertones, not the typical colors you see in like a rainbow palette. They did different things with this and do like those typical primary colors. They gave you pastels, a neonish moment here. They gave you the grunge, the cool tones, the dusty shades, some lavenders. It just, oh, it's the best colorful palette of all time. And you also have shifty metallics in here. But I love this. I know I'm going to be using this all the way until like February to get all of my fall colors and then get all my winter colors. I love when a palette can do multiple things for you. Very versatile. And then, of course, I had to mention this one. I figured I mentioned it last, but the Tropical Nights palette from ItsBel Cosmetics, my collab with them. I had to mention it because I feel like these tones would be perfect for fall, and this will forever be a special palette to me because it's about where I'm from. It's colors I picked, it's formulas I love, and this one is so versatile. I'm not trying to like toot my own horn, but you've got the grunge, right? You have purple tones, you got some pinky red moments on here, some fun blues, and you got cool tones and warm tones. This is a palette you could use any time of the year, honestly. You could go wintry, you could go fall, you can go summer. There's brighter colors, some more muted colors. There's just all types of shades in here, and I love it. And I figured I'd mention it last because I wanted to, you know, not seem like I'm being biased and putting this at the top of the list or anything, even though I wasn't doing a rankings. But this is very special to me, and thanks to all of y'all who did pick up this palette and support. I really appreciate it. But you know, you guys support me enough by just watching my videos. Whew, I almost dropped a bunch of palettes. But those were all the palettes that I wanted to mention that I think are perfect for the fall, harvest, autumn season that we are in. The grunge, the berries, the purple tones, all the fun colors that are perfect for the season. And I'm just like what I always say, a seasonal type of bee. Even though I would wear any palette anytime, just goes on my mood too. But I also like to coordinate for the season, and it gives me a chance to rotate through my makeup, go through my collection, pull out my favorite color stories for the season and give them some love, because I tend to concentrate on, you know, seasonal colors. So during the summertime, I'm pulling my summer palettes. During the spring, I'm going for my spring colors, and then the winter and all that. So this is a great way to get more use out of the makeup that is in my collection. But you guys will now have to let me know, what are your thoughts in the comments below? Did you agree with these palettes that I picked? Are there palettes that I didn't mention that you love for this fall season? And are you a seasonal type of bee, or do you wear whatever you want any time of the year? I would love to hear from all of y'all. Also, don't forget to check out the description below. I will have all the palettes linked if you want to check them out for yourself, all the ones that are still available, and any video I've done with any of these palettes in case you want to see them in action. And I will have my makeup link. Like I said, I did film this, so that video will be linked if it's already up. And you know, if you just want to know what's on my face, I will also have my contact and my social media platforms linked. I'm also on Instagram as Breezy Lifestyle and Breezy_Beauty. So if you want to join my Instagram fam, I would really love that. But guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video and being here and supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. And I just hope all of you are doing well wherever you are in the world, and just send you guys so much light and love. But until next time, bye guys.